And we're live. Hello, welcome everybody to our first session, a long time coming, of Hallstatt by Night. Session 1, Death of a Saint. Let's begin by introducing this wonderful group of kindred that we'll be working with this night, starting with Lukas.
Hi everyone, I'm Satanic Bunny, and I'll be playing Lukas Rosselini, the coteries Hecata and medical examiner.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris, aka the Unemployed Writer, and I am playing Matthew Deacon, the member of the Setite, I guess they're called these nights. And through our Lord's light, we will find our way.
Don't know about this lord you speak of, but I am Mr. no Kage, and I believe in no lord, only the endless void, which welcomes us all once we eventually die. I'm also Jonno, Baker's Dozen, and I'll be playing Sombra.
Hi, I'm Nova. I'm playing Knives for you today, also known as Ravenna. And thank you for joining us.
And I'm Ethan, storyteller of this murder mystery chronicle that we're going to sink our fangs into right now. Our group, not sure if they know entirely what they're about to get themselves into, but let's find out. I'm going to set the scene for everybody here. Let's begin. Hallstatt, a fairy tale town in Austria of 800 inhabitants. It is one of the most visited places in the world. It is a place of over-tourism. Money flows freely through the 16th century architecture in a romantic world kept safe and far away, with towering mountains and thick forests. Its beauty cannot be overstated. To the northeast lies Obertraum, and farther still, Bad Aussee, a larger town that holds the hospitals and police station nearby to Hallstatt. Further beyond that is Vienna, the Tremere capital, in all its glory. The lands nearby hold roaming lupine and sabbat packs, and surrounded on all sides by the Camarilla. Our story, this night, begins and ends in Hallstatt. The year is 2008. January, the coldest month of the year during the global financial crisis. Hallstatt is beautiful, picturesque, as snow blankets the rooftops and trees in the small town. The fairy tale town is peaceful, the people are resting cozily, and unlife for our kindred is also just as peaceful. Well, that would be true if Rhiannon Zeitman had not been found dead on the easy Forestall trail between Hallstatt and the salt mine that the town is so popular for. Rhiannon Zeitman was 21, a student studying music at the local university. She was beloved by Hallstatt's kine and kindred alike. The tension between the autarchus kindred of Hallstatt is at an all-time high. To keep the peace and avoid attention from other sects, lupines, and the Second Inquisition, our independent group of kindred must get to the bottom of this murder and bring the culprit to justice, however they see fit. But perhaps the kindred of Hallstatt have their own motives during this tragic time. January 2008. The frost-covered town of Hallstatt this night. This is the body of Rhiannon Zeitman was discovered not last night, but the day before. This is the night after. Many kindred spent that night grieving, dealing with a lot of the things that involve one's humanity. And I imagine our group also dealt with a lot of this as well. But this night, a few invitations were sent out to meet with a lot of our kindred within this group. Our group here has known each other for about a month's time now. Being an independent in this area means being an enemy of everyone. And so, deciding to stick together in a group for safety, it has kept them all safe. They've worked together once or twice, but they are not quite, perhaps on first name basis just yet, as kindred are very untrustworthy creatures. This night, Kage and Lukas, you two receive summons, or nicely put an invitation with a bow on top to see Adelaide, the Toreador baker, who owns many of the establishments in Hallstatt. You know she is very financially savvy, very clever, and was very close with Rhiannon in many ways. So, which one of you would arrive at Adelaide's bakery first, between the two of you?
Lucas is usually the early bird that gets the worm kind of thing, but if Kage is also in the same mindset, then probably around the same time.
I'm a bit more cautious. I prefer to scout out, sort of thing. I don't rush in as such.
Clever. So I imagine while Kage is checking to make sure this isn't a trap or that there isn't anything going on behind the scenes, after all, you can't trust any of the independent kindred of this place, Lucas would be the first to arrive. Can you describe Lucas for us?
Sure. Lucas is a 6'3", 6'4" man, gaunt, heavy dark bags under his eyes, though he seems to paint his eyes and halo his eyes with dark makeup. He's painted his fingers black, and has a very scene goth punk vibe about him when he's not at work. When he's at work, he's much more professional. But today, he's being more himself, as much as any kindred can truly be themselves, I suppose. They usually smell like formaldehyde and very strong chemicals that you would associate with preservation or death disposal. Though he tries his hardest to conceal the scent of blood, both for his sake, everyone else's sake, but especially hungry kindred's sake. He has black hair, black makeup, and usually wears all black, even when he is in professional attire. He also has circular reading glasses that he keeps on him at all times. So it could be an accessory, it could be required. He doesn't say.
Wonderful. And how is Kage? How would you describe Kage to us?
I would describe him as kind of a gruff, dark figure. He wears long, black, flowy clothing. He is long, flowy hair. He just kind of embodies a shadow in a way. I don't like to be seen as such. I prefer to just blend in with the darker surroundings. I have journeyed quite far all over the world. Recently spent a lot of time. I came from Japan, so I'm heavily influenced. So I've kind of almost got a dark, shadowy, samurai-ish kind of attire on.
Fantastic.
I'm basically a moving shadow, I like to think.
Great. Very appropriate that he is stalking around, making sure that everything is as it should be, even though it is quite snowy. Barely makes imprints with his feet. He's very careful and cautious. As you both walk inside, one after the other, I imagine, this bakery is large. If you were human, it would be warm, welcoming, and inviting. There's a long table A bunch of tables have been pushed up together and a long white sheet has been put across it. There sits 2 strudels and 2 still steaming hot cups of blood there for you. Behind this counter with this clear glass screen, Adelaide stands there, her celerity flowing through her veins, allowing her to knead this dough very quickly, very efficiently. She looks up at you both. Adelaide is young-looking, fair-skinned, with sort of greyish eyes. She's got long, white, unkempt hair in many ways, and she wears overalls and a white shirt, but with a long, white, kitchen attire on top of that as well. As the 2 of you step inside, she dusts flour off of her hands, wipes it onto her jeans, and then continues on the next one. Again, she looks like she was about to say something, but she decides better of it, moves on to the next one, continues to do so. Looking at you both the entire time, she simply says, "Welcome, you 2. Please take a seat. I prepared some blood for you both." At this moment, I will also mention, because of the heightened state of stress of all of our kindred, we're going to be beginning this story at Hunger 3. As we are a bit more agitated than usual, the beast is rattling its cage, and everyone is sort of on edge. Yes, she addresses you both. "Come in, take a seat, please. There's some blood there for you."
I will go sit down. I will take the cup. I will not abruptly, but I'll slowly kind of push the strudel a little bit away from me.
Mm.
Not too rude, but just a little bit like, no, that's not going to be happening. I'll sort of just taste the blood, and then I'll drink it.
It's sanguine, very happy blood, which is quite surprising, quite opposite to how most of you feel in a lot of these ways in this moment. It is kind blood.
Lukas will grab the cup also, and he'll look down into it. He's not impressed, barely even grateful. There's a vacant expression on his face as he looks into the blood. He brings it up to his nose and he will smell it and, as much as he can, enjoy the scent of it. And he will even sip some. But his beast and his higher self both know blood is not enough.
Unless as well as your feeding preferences, if your blood potency is not 1, this single cup will not do anything for you. It's merely a formality in this moment. Adelaide continues to knead dough while looking at you both, her hands moving incredibly quickly, and then a little bit faster and a little bit faster until she finishes off that part. And then she grabs it again and continues kneading it. Can I get a wits craft from both of you, please?
Ooh.
I know. I love weird checks. Welcome to the story.
Would aspects help in this situation?
Yes, it would, if you're using heightened senses. With the eyes, you can add your Auspex rating.
Hungry boys rolling hungry dice. 1 success from me.
1 success. With just the 1, Kage, you can tell Adelaide is a little bit on edge. But who isn't these nights? Who isn't? That's all you can tell. It's you don't particularly care. She hasn't really asked you for much in the past. This is a very odd meeting for you both. It doesn't tell you anything particularly interesting. 5 successes. Very nice. The dough is so over kneaded, it's useless. She's been working on this thing almost all night. She is very stressed, is it grief? Something is affecting her, and she is just continuously kneading this dough again and again and again. Maybe she has come to the point where she realizes it's pointless to use this dough, but she can't stop herself. As she tears it and then puts it back together, adds a bit more flour, adds a bit more water, it's too far gone. There's nothing she can do about it. She's quite powerless. And as you notice this, she speaks up. She continues to do so, her hands moving quickly. I know I don't really talk to you both much, for better or for worse, but well, you know what's going on, and I can't think of any two more tightly connected with death and otherworldly things to ask this, but I need you. I need you to find out who did this to Rhiannon.
Lucky for you, I was going to find out anyway.
Can I make a further request from you, Kage, as well? I want them. Whoever did this, I want them. Alive.
Alive? Or
Alive.
dead?
Alive. I don't care in how many pieces, but alive.
Alive is more difficult, but not impossible.
I've heard the stories. I think you two are the best ones to ask about this. And I'm willing to compensate you. Whatever it is you need, just ask it. My word is good.
Sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
can only speak for myself, though. Lukas?
I have my own reasons to want to seek justice for Rhiannon. But our goals may align in this circumstance if you are able to provide us with things to help us with your request. That will help everyone. I think my clan in specific tends to do quite well when given time to prepare. Can you get me access to Rhiannon's body by chance?
I can point you exactly where it is, but I don't have police contacts. It's as best as I can do. You need money. You need to talk to anyone. I can help you with that.
I think I know someone who's good at the whole talking thing, actually. Might have to pay them a visit.
Like I said, anything you need. Just bring me them alive. That's all I ask. And you can have whatever the fuck you want.
All right.
Okay. I'll give you the number of the shop in case you find anything or need anything. I'm here all the time.
Best give it to him. No point in me having it.
I'm kind of the receptionist.
She scribbles down the number on a piece of paper, walks over. Still, in her right hand she holds it, in her left hand she continues to knead the dough like a stress ball, and places it in front of you, goes back behind. Just keep me up to date, Please.
Am I able to speak with you privately before I leave? No offense, Kage. It's a personal matter.
It's fine. I'm gonna take his cup that he didn't drink. I'll swing it back and then I'll leave. There's
Lovely.
no point wasting it.
Adelaide sort of nods approvingly. It's delicious blood. It's very good. Clearly, she has access to quite a few things.
Having had 2 cups, does that take away any hunger?
It takes away 1 dot.
Yes.
If you took both of them. If
I
your
did
blood
indeed.
potency is 2. Yes.
It is not. It is 1.
Oh, it's 1, then the 1 cup is enough to slake 1, and then the other one can give you 2. So you go to hunger 1.
So,
You're welcome. Ada. Can I call you Ada?
I haven't decided yet.
Very
Go
well.
on.
Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the blood. It smelled delicious, and from what little I tasted, it was sublime. But I think I have an idea as to how we can establish a longer-lasting, if not friendship, then perhaps business relationship. And I think it will somewhat, depending on how squeamish, align with your talents.
Go on.
You like to cook, baking, as I can see. You turn it into an art form. It is truly impressive, and I don't compliment people often. My tastes are different, let's say. If I was to work with you, for you, whatever word you wish to use here, perhaps we could set up an arrangement where I could every now and then stop by and pick up some goods to eat.
Like I said, Lucas, we work together on this. We find the culprit. You can have whatever you want. I'm not unreasonable.
No, not at all. All right. Good to know. Just wanted to make sure. All right, well, I hope you do well with... Yeah.
Easy Forestal Trail near the
Mhm.
pagoda. You can't miss it.
Thanks. And then, unless she's got anything else to say, I will leave.
The two of you leave. I imagine your first stop is the body, as it is the first place to begin most investigations. At the same time this is happening, Mr. Deacon, Matthew Deacon, you received a different summons from one Isaac Albrecht, the Ventru of Obertraum, who owns the entire area and the, let's say, rival of Adelaide in many ways. He's invited you to a sports club in Obertraum, which is quite fancy. It's the place where a lot of wedding receptions would take place. Very open, late night candles and crystal glasses and such. Looks out across the lake as well, across to Hallstatt. This night, he's sitting towards the window and facing it. But before I describe Isaac, I'd like you to describe Matthew Deacon for us.
Matthew is a very unassuming type figure, very, I guess portly would be the right word. He's normally just wearing jeans, a casual t-shirt, a green leather jacket, And around his neck is always a silver crucifix with a little green gem in the middle of it.
Lovely.
Okay.
Isaac is sort of early 30s, wearing a tailored suit like the venturer he is. Red tie, everything else is black, and a brown belt, with a pocket watch tucked inside of it. He has shortish, dark brown hair, and he's sitting cross-legged, looking out across the lake, holding a large glass full of a dark crimson liquid. And there's another one seated across from him, where he has invited you to come and sit. As soon as you arrive, he stands up, he puts the glass down, he gives you a big smile, says, "Mr. Deacon."
Isaac, I wish we were meeting under better circumstances, but you know how it is these nights. Oh, is that for me?
Of course.
Sipping at the glass.
Sit down, please.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely famished. Absolutely famished.
Yes. Me too. He again pauses, looking out across the lake. How are you these nights, Mr. Deacon?
You know, I've been turning to my scripture, to the Lord for any kind of answers that will bring me out of the darkness that we all kind of find ourselves in, but I'm shaken, as is many other people.
Yes, as am I. He sort of brings his fingers back through his hair, and as he does so, a single strand comes out of place, dangles down across his forehead. And you can see, as he's speaking, his fangs are actually out at all times. The reason I've summoned you here, Mr. Deacon, is because of our working relationship and the trust that we place in one another. This place could not be as thriving without you or without myself. Obertron is thriving. And I'm concerned about the current happenings. Miss Seitman, God rest her soul, he stops, doesn't speak another word for a few moments. Almost gets a bit choked up. It's a bit strange. You've never seen Isaac so emotional before.
I'll just put my hand reassuringly on his shoulder, and I'll just say, "It's okay, Isaac. Take your time. I know it's hard on everyone, as I said. Just take a moment, recollect your thoughts, stare out into the water. You'll find your words."
He does exactly that. Pauses, breathes even though he doesn't need to, and again runs his fingers through his hair, and another strand sort of dangles down in front of his eyes, losing that very well-kept look before he speaks. I'm concerned because I hear whispers of people in Hallstatt, of extra police force, men in black, these things. And I worry that Miss Seitman's death is suspicious.
Yeah.
Mr. Deacon, I'm going to ask you something very serious, a very serious request.
Of course, go ahead.
If this event, this tragedy, comes back to any of the kindred of Hallstatt, I need you to make sure it isn't found.
consider it done. I will do whatever it is in my power to find what kind of fiend would do this. And if it is one of our kind, I'll make sure that none of the spooks find out that it's the case.
And they're breathing down our necks. Or they might be soon. You'll find her body on the Easy Forestal Trail by the pagoda.
Okay.
You have my number, and you have my full resources at your disposal to make sure the real culprit is found. And also that we keep all of us in Hallstatt safe. All we need is one small thing, and then the Camarilla, the Sabbat, the Inquisition, everything comes crashing down on our heads in this peaceful little town we've built.
Very, very, very careful house of cards we have here. Wouldn't want a rogue gust of wind coming in and knocking it all over, right?
My thoughts exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that for you, Isaac. Well, not just for you, but also for Rhiannon. You know, she had the voice of an angel, I'll tell you that much.
That she did.
Yeah. Very well. How... I might have to align myself with other people, let's say, other groups. Do you want your name mentioned anywhere? Or do you just want it to be just me, rogue agent, on my own, doing this own investigation?
You can speak of anything you like, but any evidence of any of these events that lead back to us needs to be destroyed.
Got it.
I put my full faith and all my power behind you, Mr. Deacon.
And I put my full faith in the Lord. And the Lord will guide us through these dark times. And if you don't mind, Isaac, do you mind just sitting here for a moment before I leave and having a little prayer?
Of course. The two of you sit silently for a moment, hands crossed over the table, muttering under each other's breaths. Different prayers. Are you listening in on Mr. Isaac Alberek's prayer? Okay. Can I get wits awareness, please?
Awareness.
If you have Auspex, you can add that for heightened senses as well. Two. He definitely says Rhiannon's name, but it seems to come later in the prayer rather than earlier. Strange. Suspicious, but you're not entirely sure why.
Writing it in my mental notes.
After some time, you head off to the Easy Forestal Trail to see the body at the same time as the other group. Meanwhile, again, at the same time, Ravenna, or better known as Knives, you've received, while the others received summons, you received a let's go hang out at the Overlook, smoke a little bit from Alexa. Just want to kick it back. Maybe the 5-finger overlook across Hallstatt. I think you're muted.
Am I? No,
You're good
I
now.
was whispering.
That's all good. Go ahead.
My favorite.
So, as you're approaching this area, there are these big steel wires that make sure that no tourists fall off of this section. But Alexa's wrapped her front arms around it and is sitting down, her legs dangling off the edge, hundreds of feet up above the ground, looking down, this Nosferatu woman. You know Alexa to be one of the Nosferatu who lives in a salt mine, and a very informative and well informed, I should say, Nosferatu as well. She wears a leather top, leather pants that are very tight fitting, and yet her body seems to let them work with her. Bald head, long pointed ears, and very sharp teeth. She's kicking back. She appears to have these cigarettes that are a dark crimson colour that she's burning at one end and seems to be smoking. How would you describe Knives as she approaches?
She is short and thin, but not to the point where you can see the bones through her skin. She's got obviously bright hair that you could see from a mile away. She is rocking double denim in a light pink, just so it doesn't clash with her hair. She has a little Pinocchio woodcut attached to her belt at the side. Whenever she's in danger, she clasps it just to make sure it's okay. And she has a kind of curious, joyful nature around her when she's with people that she trusts, or that she feels like she could maybe trust. But she walks along and sits beside Alexa and just closes her eyes and takes a deep breath and releases her arms. The air of the night, just taking it all in.
It's a beautiful sight. This is a postcard spot, in fact. There's a little sign next to it that says so, where people take all their holiday photos from this fantasy land below them. Alexa flicks the cigarette and then passes it over to you, gesturing if you want some.
She usually doesn't take these, but she will take it in her hand and just smell it.
It's
'Cause it's an odd
interesting.
colour.
Alexa starts to speak. Yeah, I apparently I read on the web, if you let them soak in blood for a little bit, you can get a little bit of a kick out of it. Just a little bit. So I gave it a try. Don't really feel anything though.
What kinds of web were you on?
The good kinds. All the good kinds. You know me, Knives. Always looking for fun new things to try.
She sniffs it again and then just takes a puff so it doesn't go out, and then gives it back.
It's interesting. You get an experience you've never had before. An air of all the little molecules of melancholy that go through your body. It seems that perhaps Alexa is feeling that way, why she can't get that melancholy hit that you feel. And then when you pass it back, she flicks it away down into the forest below. Piece of shit.
She kind of just like blows it over her shoulder so she can't see.
Never trust anybody. Knives, never trust anybody, especially people online. Never. Always lying.
I can trust you right now.
Oh, yeah. We're kindred spirits, you and I. Always running from something. Just gotta find the place to run to, right?
You're going back on what you told me when we first met, though, which is don't trust anybody, including me.
That's right. I say that for good reason. And that's why I brought you here tonight as well. See, I don't buy any of this shit going on. I don't get it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Something isn't right here. And as far as I'm concerned, Knives, Adelaide and Isaac aren't giving us the full story. Because they're fucking in on it, I reckon. They got some horse in this race. I don't trust them one bit. And their little fight, their little lovers' quarrel that's going on these nights is going to get us all fucking killed. So one day it's going to go too far. So I'm offering to take the next step with me. Those two gotta go. One way or another. I don't care how. But if they stick around here any longer, we're all screwed. All of us. I need dirt on how they're involved. You haven't been here that long. Very neutral around the place. See, me and Adelaide and Isaac don't really get along that well. Big surprise. They don't get along with anybody.
Could no one like you, though? Come on.
I know. Aren't I just a joy to be around?
She wraps her arm around her and pulls her in close.
She returns it and squeezes Knives tightly with a big toothy grin. And then she pulls you back slightly. Both of her long, gangly arms are on each side of your forearms. I'm trusting you with this because we're the only fucking free spirits in this place, Knives. Nobody else. They all say that they're independents and autarkis, but Isaac's a fucking Camarilli, might as well be, and Adelaide's basically an anarch. I think they're gonna get us all killed. I'm not asking you to do anything bad or fight anything. I just need dirt that I can work with.
I will try my best. But I'm in this zone where I don't know what half the words you just said were.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm going to do my best to learn them.
She gives you a light tap on the cheek. Once you get into it, you'll wake up to, truth of it all. And if not, I'll put on my own tinfoil hat and wear it around. I promise.
Oh, and we can wear tinfoil hats with brooms.
That's true. Maybe I can make a whole outfit out of tinfoil. Reflect quite
I think
nicely.
that's a great idea. Oh,
Stop
wow.
it.
Sorry.
No.
I know you're trying to be serious.
No. It's nice to laugh. I miss her,
Yeah.
She was nice.
Not many genuinely nice people out there, huh?
Not these nights. Not anymore. Just don't put yourself in any danger if you can help it. It's not worth dying for.
Unfortunately, I think the danger likes to find me.
You always say that.
That's true.
All right. Easy Forestall Trail. Start there. Try not to look at the body. It's... Yeah, hurt my head too.
Okay. Next time I will bring cards and we'll hopefully have a nicer time.
I'll bring some boozed up humans. Sound good?
Sure.
All right.
All
With
right.
that, she dangerously sort of flicks herself under, hangs by her arms under the wire and says, just be safe, and lets go, and she vanishes as she falls down those feet.
I need to remember that as a thing. And she'll turn around and flounce down the hill.
As all these different lines converge, everything comes together all at once. All four of you find yourselves at the start of the Easy Forestall Trail, approximately a half-hour walk up to the salt mine. You know, somewhere halfway by the pagoda is Rhiannon Zeitman's body. You all meet there under the snow, the cold, the empty streets of Hallstatt. And I will leave the scene to you all until you want to move on.
Matthew will see the three of them and say, well, well, well. How we all doing tonight, friends?
I assumed a prayer would be the first thing to come out of your mouth.
Oh, I already know that's it's a work in progress with you, Kage. I'll get there one day. I'll get you to say a prayer. Just for our Lord.
Stop, you're going to make me smile and that hurts my face.
Oh, I have a question.
Go ahead, Knight.
Is the kindred god the same as the people god?
Jesus is our Lord and Savior for all creatures on this earth.
So it's the same, or is it a different Jesus?
It depends on who you ask, really.
Okay, is your one the same,
My one.
Mr. Deacon? Yeah.
My one is the Lord of everyone, Jesus Christ.
Okay. She looks over towards the area where the body.
I imagine you're all
Mm-hmm.
talking while you're walking this hill.
So,
I was going to say, you see it some ways off. There's a bit more time for a discussion, but you can already see the floodlights, the high visibility police standing around, the tarps, the plastic around the area. It is opposite the pagoda, just by one of the beautiful waterfalls of Hallstatt's Easy Forestall Trail, all blanketed in snow.
So I'm guessing you three are all here for the same reason as me, right? You're all just here to find out what happened to your friend.
I don't care much about the living and the dead. They're kind of one continuous line for me, but Rhiannon was something else, so I owe it to her to find out what's going on.
And we owe something else to whoever's behind all this.
So completely altruistic, you know. No one has asked you to look into this matter.
Same as you, I'm assuming.
Oh, I don't have any problem with mentioning Isaac.
Of course, you two are buddy-buddy after all.
You find your friends in all kinds of places. Learn that in prison, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we were perhaps told to look into things, but whether or not we're going to say anything is something completely different. I haven't made up my mind yet.
Oh well, you know. What about you, Knives? You're not exactly known to have a horse in this whole race.
Yeah. I hear things.
You hear things.
Like you people just mumbling mumbo jumbo all the time. I don't.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we've worked well in the past together. So how about we How exactly do you want to approach this? We got Mr. Police officers over there.
Well, there's a body. I'm a medical examiner. I've got my alibi. I don't do the whole talking thing. That's more like your...
That's more my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I understand. All right. Same story as before, right?
Mhm.
Medical examiner. I'm detective.
It always works for some reason.
Actually, I got another game question. Because I had some of that blood, did I take any hunger off?
With that, what's your blood potency?
1.
1? Yes, you can select 1 hunger.
Oh, thank goodness.
It
Not
pays
in danger
to
zone
be lower blood potency sometimes.
anymore. All right. That's us sorted out, Lucas. How about you two? What are you two?
Well, as usual, don't like to put all our eggs in one basket. We will lurk in the shadows if you need us.
Right. Yeah. So while you're in the shadows, be sure to confer to our Lord and Savior. Reflect a little. Maybe God will talk to you back if you talk to Him.
Try listening. I heard nothing, 'cause there is nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not very nice. Come on, Kage.
It's very bleak.
Just nod and agree.
Oh, 'cause I'm always so happy.
Hey, you always seem to be pretty happy when I'm around.
I mean, don't I look happy?
You look absolutely like you can't contain your laughter.
I barely cannot. No, I'm overwhelmed.
All right, let's go do this. You two go do your thing, and Lucas and I will go and distract. How many police officers do we see in the hivers?
Just the 4. They seem to have already investigated the area, so they are simply just there on watch duty to make sure nobody comes by. So, I'll ask Knives and Kage, what is your intention here? Would you like to, say, overhear police officers speaking to each other, or how would you like to approach this, you two?
Firstly, before we split up, I was just gonna say, Matthew, if you've got a little safe word you want to use, like "love me, Jeebus Daddy" or something.
That's a little bit of a mouthful right there, Kage. How about we just go with a good old classic kumquat? Doesn't come up in normal conversation very often.
This is true. Make sure you remember how to use it this time.
Yeah, last time was very awkward.
Well, we got out of it, didn't we?
But I walked in you.
Yeah, look.
So we have our safe word, I guess. Yeah, we'll look at luring them away so you can sneak into the... No, wait, you're going to talk your way into the...
We're going to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk. Yeah, so...
Okay. I guess Knives and I will just be nearby should you need us.
Yeah, listen out for kumquat and listen out for anything else you might hear, They might whisper some secrets to each other, might know a little thing. And be sure to, confess to me any kind of sins you might hear.
You do love the chase, don't you?
Oh.
So...
Right.
You're gonna make him strain a muscle. Jeez.
And I know the names of every single muscle in the body. So we would be here for a long time if I was to mention each and every single one that aches.
Well, we don't have that time, unfortunately. Although I would love to hear them.
Knives. Wits awareness. While the two approach. Kage, you can also do wits awareness if you like as well. both of you. Now, the two of you approach these police officers. They are sort of making the rounds. Two of them are talking amongst each other. The other two, one of them sort of like peeks into the tarp, sort of shakes their head, closes the tarp, takes a long breath out. You see their hot, kind breath out into the wild. The other one sort of notices you guys approaching and says, just take the side route around. You don't want to see this.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. We've got a medical examiner here to have a look at the whole mess that we heard about, you know?
Oh, wonderful. Do you have identification? Sorry, it's nothing personal.
Yeah, sure. And I got to reach in. Oh, where did did I leave it in the taxi?
Oh my god, did you do that again?
Oh. Sorry. Look, I don't have any identification on me, but the name's Richard Osmond.
Let's get manipulation subterfuge, your specialty.
Thank you.
Add a dice because Lukas has identification, which backs up your story.
Yeah, so hang on, I don't have 300 anymore.
So, Knives and Kage, how many successes on your wits awareness check? 3?
I also got 3.
Both of you got 3. So both of you are it's a very quiet night. So you're quite alert and aware of the things going around, and you're not paying attention to the conversation. It doesn't interest you whatsoever. You know they're probably going to get in because Mr. Deacon can get himself anywhere. And you hear the crunch of a leaf. A footstep, perhaps, just off the trail, just below you in the trees. You don't quite see what it is. You can hear it. It's definitely a boot. Human? Maybe? You're not quite sure.
I instantly Cloak of Shadows.
You vanish. Make a rouse check for Cloak of Shadows. Or is that? Sorry, that's Unseen Passage, so you make a rouse check. You vanish without the rouse check. My mistake. I got the two mixed up, as I always do. You instantly vanish. Kage, you sort of... Maybe you turn towards Knives to say that you saw something, and then poof, gone before your very eyes.
Yeah. I'm gone too. Instant.
Shadow Cloak?
Silence of Death and Shadow Cloak, yeah.
In the combination between the two, you might as well be obfuscated. You vanish into the darkness. The snow beneath your feet doesn't crunch, doesn't move. You leave nothing there. And I imagine the two of you approach the sound.
Yes, we'll cautiously go see what it is.
Mr. Deacon, how many successes?
7 critical.
Wow, incredible. The police officer sort of looks at his uniform, pats himself, says, I forgot mine too. Just go right on through. It's fine. It happens all the time.
Hey, I'm jet lagged. What's your excuse, buddy?
I got none. It's cold. Come on through. He lifts up
freezing.
the tape for you guys to come on through. Yeah, they're good. Let them through. They're here to investigate. Second round, probably. The others sort of just like shiver and nod like, yeah, don't get paid enough to deal with a lot of this stuff going on. And you are allowed to investigate the area around. I imagine the first place... Sorry, go ahead.
I just turn to Lucas and I just say, well, I did my magic. Time for you to do yours, buddy.
Gladly. The first thing I'm going to do is sense the unseen to see if there is any magical interference, any spirits, anything that I need to be aware of before going to a more mundane investigation.
I will get wits or specs from you.
Two successes.
2 successes. As you attune yourself to the sounds, you ignore snow hitting the ground, the crunching of the boots of the police officers, the occasional crackle of the radio, tuning in, sensing things that might be trying to hide themselves. The light's too bright. There's big floodlights in the area. There's dark shadows elsewhere. Who knows what Kage is doing to mess with your senses just by being around. Somehow the room always darkens when he's there. But no, nothing around you seems to be supernaturally hidden or hiding from you.
Alright, well, time for me to investigate the body proper and the scene around it.
Very well. As you open up to see the body, I will need a composure resolve, as witnessing a touchstone dead can affect one's humanity.
From both of us?
If you see the body at all, yes.
I would probably be trying to shield my eyes a little bit just because of how bright everything is.
Indeed. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. As long as you don't witness it, it doesn't affect you. Now, the other two, while you're sneaking up, the two of you, again, very good at sneaking around and finding things with your observant eyes. There is a man there in a white shirt and jeans. It's awfully cold just to be wearing a white shirt, jeans, and boots this time. He has white hair and white facial hair as well, and these sort of pinkish eyes. And he's crouched down, fairly muscular, young, maybe 21 in age. And he's got this small iPod shuffle, little square, that is popular in the 2008s. And you can hear some music playing from the left earbud that he's keeping in. He's watching, observing. And as you approach closer, you can see that his hand is gripped around some bark on a tree, and it's slowly squeezing it, crushing it.
I guess the problem is we've both disappeared and now we can't really talk to each other.
You're very good at it, especially from each other.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, with Cloak of Shadows, you can't move.
Mm.
So I would have just had to stay there. How far away is the sound still?
Approximately 10 meters. If you were to use Unseen Passage, if you have that, you could quite easily make it.
I will do a rouse check.
Yep, all you need is a rouse check and you can approach quite easily.
I rolled a 1.
You get hungrier. As you're hearing talk of Isaac and someone else that some of these other people are working with, Alexa's warning sort of rings true in your mind, and your beast is yelling, everything about this is wrong. We need to survive. We need to get out of here. I hate this. Let me have control. Let me deal with this, and we can just run. And it's bending the cage door that keeps it back, that you hold it back from. And you feel the it's like a migraine or a headache at the back of your head, but it crosses down through your bones, through your spine, and runs like hot through your body as the beast sort of rears back. You keep in control, but you know you're only a brief upset or brief moment away from letting that thing out.
I do what I always used to do and just like breathe in and out 10 times. It makes me feel a little bit more human. I'm fighting. And then I will walk towards the sound and see if I can get a look at his face.
You can quite easily see his face. Young man, 21. Pinkish eyes, white hair, and white facial hair as well. Almost blending in with the snow, if not for those pink eyes.
What is his facial expression doing?
He seems stiff in the face. In fact, as you're watching him for some time, he grips the bark and it sort of snaps under his fingers. And as he does so, he flicks part of his lip up. You see fangs underneath.
Has he got anything else attached to his body?
Just the
That could
shirt
be loose?
and the iPod shuffle. The only thing that's loose really is the ear pods that he's wearing at this moment. He's just wearing a simple white shirt and simple jeans. Nothing else apparent. Very minimal, actually.
And how far is he from all the police and stuff?
Approximately 12 to 15 meters. Like distance, far enough to hear people talking, but out of sight. He's behind a tree.
He's outside, right? I'm gonna sneak in real close. I don't know if you want me to roll for it. I'll sneak in like within a couple of meters.
With your passive abilities, no need.
I'm basically thinking I'm gonna just uncloak with my sword at his throat and be like, "No sudden moves, buddy."
Before we get to that, Lucas, how many successes?
Ethan's there like, ooh.
I love cutting away at dramatically appropriate moments.
4.
4 successes. You've thought about this enough. You've dealt with it enough. The grief, everything to do with it. Seeing her like this, she seems almost at peace. And you manage to keep your composure. Hold yourself together. This is just a job. And you're doing it for her in some sense. And keeping that composure and resolve, you take no stains in observing Rhiannon's body. She lies there, her long brown hair sort of curled out almost like a snow angel on a sheet of ice that's underneath her body. No snow, just ice. She almost looks like, if only Deacon could see her, she would be like an angel, or perhaps the man Jesus Christ himself, in the way that she is spread out on the ground. Her lips are open, her eyes looking up at the tarp above her. No life left in that body. Completely untouched. No immediate signs of what might have happened to her. Perhaps she froze to death. No signs of hypothermia or anything like that. Very strange.
Pale, rigor mortis, the usual signs are there. But how did you die? Matthew.
Yeah, what is it? It's a little hard to think under all these bright lights on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I get it. What I was gonna say is inappropriate. So, what's a different way to say it?
Well, you thought it, so Lord will always hear it. So you may as well just say it.
That's true. Wow, she looks beautiful the way she is right now.
And I look, and I'm guessing I have to do the same roll. What was it again? It was
Composure, resolve.
Okay, composure, resolve.
Being a religious man, especially with the way that she is positioned, it's a bit easier, but only ever so slightly. While you're doing that, Kage, your sword is already out.
Also, I just want to say, as a thing I would do before revealing myself, rapid reflexes and fleetness.
Of course, make a rouse check for fleetness.
8, so success.
You are perfectly fine. If you were alive, your heart would be beating, and you would be ready, calm, breathing in and out, keeping a steady heart rate. Your sword is out. The man in front of you freezes instantly, doesn't move. The young boy sort of gulps in, and his Adam's apple almost touches the blade, but it just misses. Knives, you see this?
I'm watching and waiting.
Yeah. No sudden moves, buddy. What are you doing here?
The man sort of turns his head ever so slightly, just says, I came to see her.
He's occupied. You can wait your turn.
Is she really?
I haven't seen, but I'm sure she is.
Fuck.
Am I to understand you're not here to cause a scene?
No. No, I didn't believe it. I had to see it.
I'll lower my sword to my side, but I won't put it away yet. Poised.
Man sort of stands up slightly, brushes some of the snow off of his hands. I didn't... Who are you? I'm Lars.
I haven't seen you before, Lars. Are you new to town?
No, I live... He points like upwards through the forest in the middle of nowhere.
I've been here a couple of years and haven't seen you, Lars.
I'm still new to all this. I'm only...
This.
I was told to say I'm only a year old.
Baby.
Maybe. I don't like the term. Sure. What do they say? Fledgling? No, I don't like that either. I'm new to all this, that's all.
Quieter.
Right. Sorry.
You wait a bit. My associates will be back, and they can confirm what you're wondering.
Okay. Fuck. He sort of slumps himself up against the tree and sort of sits down in the snow, giving a big heaving sigh in that moment.
How did you know her?
We went to class together. And you were, well, studying at the same university.
Forgive me if this sounds like an interrogation, but when did you last see her?
A couple of months ago.
Well,
Julie, I mean, I shouldn't see her. It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate indeed.
Fuck, I can't believe she's...
Just sit tight. We'll have more answers soon, possibly, but whether to share them with you will be not up to me as such.
Okay. He stays seated in the snow. Is there anything Knives is doing while this is happening? Are you simply observing the man? Lars?
She watches for any sign of movement that he could turn around and attack him, but she's rather certain that he's no danger to us. But she just watches him wallow in his sorrow closely, like reading every movement that he's doing.
Make a wits insight while this is happening. The other two.
Got a 4.
4. You are fine. The way that she's posed, perhaps it was meant to be. Makes sense after everything you've talked to her about and everything you know about her. She died very similarly to the way that she lived.
I look at the body and I I'm sort of overwhelmed by emotion, and I just say to Lucas, it's, you're right, she's beautiful. Just the way everything is. It's just like Jesus Christ, you know? And then,
She's like an angel, had the voice of one, so this makes sense. Either that or it's a cruel joke.
no. The joke would be on whoever played this joke, you know? She... It's divine, you know? It's... And then at this point, I think he'd probably cover his face because he'd probably start like weeping a little bit. And sorry, are there other people in this tent, or is it just us?
So it's a very small section. You have to actually like lean in and like kneel down to get inside. So all the police are not paying attention, so you're perfectly fine. They're leaving you to your work.
Yeah, I just look away and I just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Look, have you got this? You gonna figure out everything?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go out for some fresh air. You know, the bright lights and everything, and
No,
the body.
I totally get it. If you can make friends with them and keep them distracted, that will help with my investigation.
For sure. Yeah, of course. And I lean out of the tent, wiping my eyes, making sure there's no traces of blood, and I just say, "Gentlemen, has anyone got a coffee here? It's so freezing. You know, could just really do with a cup of Joe."
They all look at each other, shrug, and one of them goes over, starts getting their thermos that like turns into multiple cups and starts pouring everyone.
What are the others doing?
The other two, one of them sort of just looking down the trail, making sure no one's coming up. Two of them having a conversation. The other one is just pouring the coffee for everybody on a nearby, in the pagoda.
Okay. I sort of start walking towards that person in the pagoda, and I just yell out to the two that are just kind of standing. "Hey, you two being out here long, you look a little wary in the face, you know? You know what I'm saying?"
They sort of, the other one slaps the other on the shoulder and says, "Come on. We've been watching this place for hours. Just chill out for a second." "Fine, all right." The two come over towards the pagoda.
Yeah, come on, have a cup of Joe.
Pick up their coffees and shiver, holding it really close to their bodies as they do so. January is the coldest month in Hallstatt. It is freezing temperatures. You're surprised that the lake isn't frozen over.
So while they're doing all the coffees, I'm gonna. So that you said that two are having a conversation, correct?
They are now in the pagoda. So three of them are now in the pagoda with you.
Yeah. So there's just the one that
who's watching away. So you are.
Okay.
Lucas is perfectly able to do whatever Lucas wishes. How would you like to approach this, actually?
Well, before the possibility of invasive investigation, I will do as non-invasive as possible with the assistance of my auspex, but there are bright lights around, so I am going to kind of take my because it's cold, I would assume I have some kind of coat, and I kind of like drape it over myself to kind of block out the illumination and hone in without becoming blinded.
You can use other senses with heightened senses as well, not just sight.
Yes.
So combining all those together, you can make a resolve investigation, as it takes a bit of time to do this. And you can add your auspex to that roll as well. Kage, you were going to fetch someone, I believe, at this point, or at least inform the others.
I was more or less keeping them here and was going to wait for the others' return. But
Perfect.
at the same time, I do want to keep an eye on what's happening. So I'll say to our mate, "I'll be right back, but I'll be watching. Don't move." And I'm just going to disappear into the shadows and move back to my vantage point.
Yeah, no worries.
but listening and watching.
Wits awareness, please. And Knives, you were going to do something?
I rolled an insight check and I got a 2.
2.
4.
Seems fairly innocent, very new to a lot of these things. The way that he uses phrases and stuff and stammers over his words. Not a kindred who's very familiar with kindred society, and you've been there before. I think everybody's been there at some
I
point.
think I'm still there. I understand.
Yeah, he's very, very young. And with an insight of 2, he seems fairly harmless. He might be pretty physically strong, but the way that he reacted to the sword and stuff is maybe he doesn't know what he can do entirely as well.
I got 1, then Will parried, and got 1 more, so I'm at 2.
2. The police are having a discussion over these strange people who came in recently to investigate. You don't get any more details other than that there are strange people who came to investigate as well. You're not the second group to come here, or the third. Seems like you're the fourth to come here.
Interesting.
With 2 successes, Lucas.
4, because I spent
4.
willpower.
Lovely. With 4 successes, using all your senses, smell, touch, sight, by touching parts of her body, especially her stomach area, you can tell that some parts inside of her body are missing. It doesn't make any sense, as there are no incisions, there are no wounds here. And as you sort of observe more carefully, her skin is in very good condition for anything to have happened. It's very strange. And when you sort of smell the air around her mouth it smells of something that you've never smelt before, and sulfur as well. The smell of sulfur is faint, but there. And then when you go to observe and touch whatever is giving that strange smell, it's this milky, clear, slightly gelatinous liquid in her mouth, on her lips. It's very
I'd like to
strange.
take a sample of that, if I may.
Yep. If you've got like a small vial, I imagine you put it
Yeah.
into and cork it up.
I do continue. I'll open her mouth and allow the light to kind of pour in to see if there's any obstruction, if she died with sick in her, if she asphyxiated on her own sick. Just trying to hone in and make sense of it, because right now it doesn't make sense.
Observing, you figure asphyxiation. No bruising around the neck. Strange. No. The mouth is surprisingly clean. Same with the throat. It's not strangling on anything. She's surprisingly clean in general. And the fact that she has ice underneath her with 4 successes implies that she was wet when she was originally here.
Did it rain recently?
No. It's all snow.
Is there a lake? No, that would be frozen.
The Hallstatt Sea is the closest one. It is not frozen over, but that is 30-minute walk and also freezing cold.
I'll check her feet to see if there's like signs of if they're clean, then maybe someone took her shoes off or she was placed here. If she did go into the sea and somehow walked all the way here and died of hypothermia, it'll give me something to go on. Also the fingernails. Also, just always check the fingernails.
So, she has no clothes, as you can assume the police have removed them and are using them for evidence. So the shoes, you might have to ask or somehow get access to the police records of what they have. And under the fingernails is salt. It's very strange.
How far away from the salt mines are we?
About 20 minutes walk, and then you have to go all the way down into the salt mines itself. Technically, you are on top of salt, but it is all the way into the earth, below, far, far below you. So very far. The idea of getting salt, having it not melt in the water, coming all the way up here to die of no apparent hypothermia, all of it is not adding up.
Do I, this might be offensive, but do I smell the scent of a Nosferatu on her at all?
They don't have particular sense about them. She doesn't smell like foul in any way whatsoever. In fact, she smells of perfume, the one that she always wears.
How fresh?
It would have been, about 48 hours ago applied. So it's very faint. Luckily, with your heightened senses, you can pick it up.
If I'm able to manipulate the body and move it around, actually, before I do that, though I've got gloves of my own, I will kind of like try and play nice, I suppose, and exit the tent, and just kind of like the Addams family. Like I look like I'm one of them, and I'm just looming outside of the tent, and I'm just waiting, looming, brooding, hoping for someone to notice me. And if they don't, then I suppose I'll take the initiative and speak myself, and basically just like, do you have gloves here?
The police are all sort of huddled together with Deacon sort of keeping warm with all their cups of joe. And after a while, one of them sort of, no, sorry, the surgeons already came by and observed the body and everything. They want to take her back tomorrow during the day to the hospital. They'll do an observation.
Right. I have some questions, and he'll walk over to them. Who do we have? Someone who came across this, like a first responder? Did one of you find them first?
None of us. Apparently, it was a tourist. Found her early in the morning going for a hike.
We got a name of this tourist?
Yeah, I wasn't told it, but you'll have to go down to the police office and search the files for that. Yeah, they're probably already investigating them now.
All right.
What about the shoes? Did she have shoes? Do you know that?
Yeah, she was wearing what are the girls always wearing these days? Those like Ugg boots, I think they're called. Not very popular things.
Ugly boots?
Yeah, those things. Yeah, not a fan of those.
Right. They're not, like, really for exercise. They're, like, for comfort, right?
Yeah, keep you warm in this climate.
Interesting. And the bottom of the shoes, did they seem dirty or were they clean?
I wish I could tell you. I'm just here to observe. I don't know anything. Just here to make sure nobody...
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you know of there's so many of you. Do you know of the name of the first responder of your group? Like the one that came to monitor the body first?
Yeah, Lucy? Officer Lucy? I can't remember her badge number off the top of my head, but again, she'll be down at the station.
You probably know who it is, or know someone who knows someone.
Yeah. Look, Lucy. Yeah, I mean, you see so many people in my line of work, you know. Yeah.
Lucy. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I have found some rather unusual findings. I can't make an exact ruling now because I would need to take a deeper look. But it appears that there is some sulfurous gelatinous substance around the orifice of the mouth. I have taken a sample, which will be run in the lab. She seems to have salt underneath her fingernails and strange placement of ice.
The mention of this, the policeman sort of slaps the other one again and says, "Hey, those guys, the last night, they were saying the same thing. It was really weird."
Guys, last night, other teams have come into.
Yeah, you should have seen it. These two big burly men, suits that barely fit them, like Men in Black or something.
Two big burly men. Do they say where they're from?
Flashed their badges and got let through, from what I hear.
What kind of badges we talking about?
Don't know. They wanted to speak to the lieutenant, and then just got let straight in. So probably big shots, I guess.
Yeah, probably might. Yeah, I'll probably have to go back and see where that was.
Communication between agencies. I don't want to get into it.
Tell me about it.
It's getting pushed over all the time.
I'm still dealing with all the jet lag and this whole trip. No, okay, this just is creating a bigger and bigger mess. So it's just this group, right? The two big burly men.
Yeah.
In suits. Okay.
What we remember, but
did they seem particularly offended by the information, or like me, just curious?
well, they kind of walked in and just took charge of the place, I guess. They organized all the lights and everything to be put down. We didn't think they were necessary, but they said so. And they
got to blame for my headache right now.
Yeah.
They have no idea what prolonged exposure to intense light does to a body. So I will need to speak with someone in their team. Though it's not on any of you, it requires medical training. You're fine.
You can find them at the hospital. They'll be conducting the autopsy down there.
Mm-hmm. Which hospital are we talking about?
LKH Rotterdam Hospital in Bad Elsie.
Okay. I think I will do that.
While this is happening, Kage, how many successes on your wits awareness?
One before, when I was listening to the police officers, that was 2.
2 successes. So as you're listening to them talk about these things, you can see the one furthest off, who is sort of by themselves, has turned around and sort of observing everybody sort of talking amongst themselves. You're actually, Knives, you're very observant as well. You would also notice that this man reaches back, pulls his particular radio and starts talking into it. You can't hear from this distance what he says, but he is observing the group as he speaks.
Sorry, is it? I'm trying to picture from the outside. So it's like a tent they're all in?
They're in a pagoda, so it's like a wooden structure.
Right.
That has a roof, a round roof, and it's sort of a round structure that overlooks across the lake in Hallstatt.
And I, being all cloaked, as stealthily as possible, can I soaring leap and just kind of, I want to place myself on top of the roof and get closer. I'm basically aiming to get better listening and distort their radios.
So let's have, since it's a precise jump, it'll be dexterity. And let's have dexterity athletics for this one. Since you've already got Silence of Death active and such, you are already very stealthy. Knives, is there anything you want to do about this?
Soaring leap free. I don't know.
It is free. Just to see how accurate you are.
I should just move around with Soaring Leap.
Mm.
Dexterity athletics, you said.
Yeah.
With my fleetness or rapid, do I get anything?
You do add your celerity
It's just
dice.
celerity to non-combat dexterity tests.
Yep, add your celerity dice to this pool. Knives.
Nice.
Anything you want to do in this moment? Did you want to speak to the man in front of you or continue observing him?
I will just. Is that Lars? Is what you're meaning? Or the guy with the radio?
Either or. You can do whatever you like.
I think I'll just keep an eye on Lars to make sure he doesn't attack
Three.
anybody or make any moves.
1, 2.
I trust Kage to sort out the other issues.
I got 5, but 2 of them are 10s on regular die. So what's it?
That is 7.
Yeah.
It's a critical. Even with 5, it would have been perfect. But with a critical, you land right on the edge of the pagoda, like out of a superhero comic book, just looking over everything happening. And as you do so, all of you observe as the lights sort of flicker just for a moment and sort of strangely turn off and then turn back on. The man on the radio sort of puts it down, presses the button, nothing happens, goes and bangs on the light and it flicks to life back again. He puts the radio away, continues observing as all their radios cease to work with your presence just being there. You are completely hidden in this moment as well. You can see everything before you.
I will observe from a nicer, closer vantage point.
Now is a good time for us to take a brief break, I think. We will take 5 to 7 minutes. So stick with us as the mystery unfolds and we learn more information about Rhiannon Zeitman's death. See you in 5 to 7 minutes. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to just jump straight back into it with our current scene. The scene is now up to all of you. You are at this murder scene. If there's anything you wish to investigate, to look at, or to speak to anyone about, now is the time.
If I may, I would like to get all of the badge numbers and identification of the police officers currently here, just in case, it's
routine.
Yeah.
Of course.
Admin, hate that paperwork.
Yeah, all of them sort of like nod feverishly and hold on to the coffee carefully.
Would you rather be out here or rather be filing all his paper,
There's a resounding out here from all of them.
At least here you get a good cup of Joe,
I'll do you all a favor. If you just give me your little cards, I'll make my notes and you can just keep enjoying your coffee. I'm not much of a coffee drinker anyway.
Yeah, you get all of their numbers, IDs, and names quite easily.
Perfect.
Is there anything our kindred would like to do in this scene? Or we would like to regroup with Lars?
I'd look at Lukas as Lukas is jotting down all the names, holding my warm cup of coffee, and I'll say to him, hey, so anything press in your mind before we vamos?
There is a lot, but I can't make a definitive conclusion without either conferring with the people that will be doing the autopsy, though I would prefer to be there when it happens. Did they mention anything, like the men that came before us, did they mention the sulfurous, gelatinous material or only the salt and the ice?
We're talking about the salt and the ice mainly, but, they kept a wide berth from a lot of us, sort of just talked amongst themselves. Kind of rude, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's- Exactly. Really, really rude,
Probably from
You
upper
gotta be down
offices.
here with the people. I remember when I was in your position, sitting out in the cold. You can't forget about everyone,
Don't
You
get
do
paid
know
enough for
you
this.
can't drink that coffee. Your doctor. I know. I'm friends with him. He said no.
Yeah, live on the wild side, I say, as I come here and I'm like, you're gonna make me drink this. Drink, and I'm just gonna hold it in my mouth.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I would like to, with my associate here, make a round, and then we'll be out of your hair.
Not a problem. Thanks so much for your help and for your work. Hopefully
No
we'll see you
problem.
guys down at the station or the hospital.
Yeah. Make sure that you hug your kids and wives extra tightly when you get home.
As you sort of leave them, they don't make any extra comments or anything further. I imagine this is the time where our kindred gather together.
I'm
Fine.
just gonna
Yeah?
listen a little bit longer, see if they say anything once they leave.
Yeah. It's a lot of like, man, those two are like right out of a TV show, Like I feel like I'm watching a Criminal Minds or like, what was that new one, like NCIS and all that stuff that's coming out? Yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. It's like we're in a movie or something. Very eccentric. Cool. And they sort of have this discussion about what it would be like to be a bit more in the movie side. Nothing interesting, nothing important. They seem to be like very out of the loop on a lot of things.
As I say, yeah, I start hearing this dribble and I'll leave. I'll soaring leap back into like the direction where Lars was.
Landing quietly on the snow, probably nearby Knives, even though you can't see them. Lars is still
Lars
here.
is there.
Yep, he's still here, sort of sitting in the snow. He's
I'll reveal myself to him, like, follow me, and I'll kind of lead him back towards where the path where we kind of once were.
You all reconvene. Lars he's got, now that he notices a few more people, his body language sort of shuts down a little bit, or he tries to look a bit tougher. You can tell without even making an insight check that he's trying to toughen him. He's putting his hands underneath his muscles the way footballers do to like make his muscles look bigger, and sort of puffing his chest out.
As we walk away from that scene, spit out that coffee that I just kind of put in my mouth, throw the cup away, glare at Lukas, and I'm like, well, you didn't have to do that.
I mean, there's been this nasty rumor going around that I don't have a sense of humor, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, I'm sure God is laughing right now. He had a good old chuckle.
I'm sure he is.
And then that's when we probably see old mate.
Lars and Kage staying there. Knives, you make yourself visible?
No.
No.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I will be visible with Lars because obviously I don't want him to appear to be by himself and caught out guard.
Oh, who we got here? What have you found? Do I recognize Lars, by the way?
No. This is not kindred any of you have seen before. None of you really live in the wilderness. So this is not... It's very strange. Never heard of a character such as Lars with such distinctive features as well.
I like to kind of circle around him, kind of like a shark, and use my auspex to, like, I don't know, suss him out, smell some things.
Mm-hmm.
Or, by the way, I put on or.
Or, very interesting. Okay. We're going to have some interesting rolls then. So, let's have Wits investigation to check out Lars. And or Lars is not familiar with. It just it works on him immediately. You have his complete attention in this moment. He can't look away. He's doing his best to resist, so he is going to make composure subterfuge, which is not his best dice pool.
Manipulation presence for me, I'm guessing.
If you'd like to, certainly.
Sure, why not?
Go for it.
It could be a complete failure, so that might make things even more interesting.
Well,
3.
3. He has nothing. Absolutely nothing against both of you.
Well, I'll say this is Lars, or so he calls himself. I found him nearby. So far, he's been cooperative. Don't really know what his deal is, though.
I'm just
Do a big
here.
broad smile.
You first.
I do a big broad smile. Put my hand out. Lars, lovely to meet you. The name's Matthew. How you doing?
He looks between Kage and Matthew, and shakes your hand quite eagerly, actually, as the awe sort of washes over him, affecting his emotions.
Quite a grip you got there. Quite a grip.
Thanks.
Take my arm off with that.
I'm Lars. Nice to meet you, Matthew. I don't mean any ill will or anything. I'm just here to see her.
Her. So you knew her?
Yeah, we used to go to school together.
School. Now, quick question. So I don't recognize him. School. So would I? Can I insight that?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Yeah.
I would like to help if I can.
You can assist.
And do I get my bonus?
I'm imagining you're. You do get your bonus to see whether he's lying or not. Absolutely. I'm imagining you're trying to see if he's part of the youth group.
Well, yeah, it's just because it seems strange to me. Like, I don't know this person has been to school, and so 1, 2, 3.
I will get. Knives, do you want to make a intelligence? Let's have intelligence academics with your journalism specialty. Something about him, reminds you of something.
I have
Oh,
a
sorry.
mechanical question real fast.
Yeah, of course.
If my hunger dice is more than a dice I have to
You roll all hunger and you can't re-roll them with willpower.
Question. So,
Yeah.
first of all, do I get a bonus because of awe? And the second one is, do I get a bonus because of Lukas helping out?
With insight, it doesn't give you a bonus because you're sensing someone. It's more persuasion, manipulation sort of rolls.
That's what I thought.
And what was the second question? Sorry.
Do I get a bonus because I guess Lukas is trying to intimidate him? I guess
You get an extra dice.
I'm circling him. I'm basically like an unliving lie detector. Speaking of, I got 5 successes critical.
And this was a wits insight, I believe, or intelligence.
Wits investigation.
Wits investigation. Lars seems young, fit. Maybe he did a lot of sports in life. Is there anything in particular? Oh, you're using your auspex as part of this.
Yeah, kind of smelling to, like if he was a drinker, let's say. I mean, well, aren't we all? But like with, does he have like a lingering sense that he should have covered up, but he didn't have the mind to?
He smells. He smells like dirt and like wild animals, like rabbits. Maybe a bit of rat in there somewhere. Very like and if you look carefully, his white shirt actually has like some rabbit fur on it. It's very strange. Although once he describes that he's been living in the wilderness, it doesn't seem all too strange. How many successes with 4. You've never seen him. You would know. You know everyone who's in that youth group, and they know you. He's never been there before, whether because of his beliefs or because of another reason. And Knives, how many successes? 2. You remember 1 year ago. You're a journalist. You know these things. You have a knack for these things, or at least you studied it in the past. Newspaper. Exactly a year ago, maybe last week. If you remember, if you had a few more successes, you could tell what day it was. But Lars went missing around this time. The human Lars. And now he's here a year later. It strikes you as very odd.
I'll just say to him, hey, okay, so you studied with Rhiannon. I haven't seen you around much, you know. I pal around with a lot of the youth group is what we call ourselves. You know, well, what they call themselves.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, what do you mean those guys? What do you mean those guys? You know?
He means those guys.
Hey, Kage, just yeah.
I don't know. They're a little clicky for me.
Clicky. Well, we're all a click unto God, aren't we? You know?
Oh God.
I suppose.
Oh God, indeed. Oh God, indeed.
I will make you drink coffee again. Don't make me.
Have I just thrown a fish to the shark? Maybe I should take him back.
Hang on, wait. Are you guys all? You're all.
We're friends, just like we're friends with you. Oh, you mean yeah.
Oh, right.
Thought you already figured that.
Look, I had my suspicions about Kage, but all of you, I don't know. It's nice to meet you all.
I just look like this for fun.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Or was it?
Huh?
Who knows? Maybe God.
Oh.
God does know. All right, we're getting off the beaten path here. So you were here to see Rhiannon. Well, I mean, I saw her, and I'll let you know she's looking. Well, in all circumstances, she looks at peace. Let's say.
So it's true.
I examined her. If you have any questions.
No, I don't want to know the details. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, dead.
As he sort of swears and like grits his teeth, you can see his fangs have come out in this moment, and he's sort of growling under his breath every few moments.
I'll put a hand on his shoulder and be like, easy, tiger.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Let it out. You know, it's not good to keep all that bottled in.
We're a bit too close still to the scene to let it out.
Well, not let it out, but you know, let him go grr a little bit.
He succeeds in his composure, resolve, keeps himself together, especially with such a strong grip on his shoulder. He sort of recognizes that his facade isn't really working that well, and his fangs stay out. Perhaps he's under some kind of compulsion in this moment, but he's not doing anything.
Forgive my forwardness, Lars, but I close the distance between myself and him, putting my hand on his shoulder very slowly.
Is your hand on my hand?
I start to reach that. I'm like, nope, that one. And I just say, forgive my forwardness, and just kind of having eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, I mean, you say that you studied with her, but it seems to me like there may have been something more, you know? I knew a lot of people, and I didn't used to get this upset.
No, it's not. She didn't. No. 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 We were just good friends. That's all. She wasn't interested in anyone.
But that doesn't mean that you weren't interested in her.
I'm not interested in her.
All right.
We were good friends. That's all.
When was the last time you saw her?
A month and a bit ago. We don't see the people. We shouldn't, apparently, see the people.
You told me 2 months. Which is it?
I don't know, 2 months, a month and a bit. I don't know.
Easy, Tiger. This isn't an interrogation. We're just, All right. Well, so you came for a stroll in the woods, had a look around, hoping to maybe get your mind at ease. I'm hoping that you have some kind of closure, or at least some kind of sense of closure.
How did you know where the body was, if you don't mind me asking?
I probably shouldn't say. He says I shouldn't. I shouldn't say.
Who's he?
Nobody.
Oh, Lars, please. Who? Tell me who. It's okay.
He's like my mentor. He's teaching me about this stuff. His name's Julian.
Julian. How did he know?
He knows everything that happens in the woods.
Well, I'd like to meet this Julian. Maybe he has some information about what happened to our friend.
If we work together, we could do this for her.
Julian doesn't do people. Or us, really.
Well, talks to you. And you're talking to us.
Let's have manipulation persuasion.
Thank you. This is where I get my ore, right?
Yes,
That
you
was
add
very
your
I was feeling manipulated by that.
especially because he's surrounded by 3 people, a strong arm on each shoulder. Being like, oh shit. And an
I feel
invisible
like Lucas is
Bana
gonna be awkward and be
Hakim.
like, I've got the face. Like, just.
Oh, this is a lot of dice.
Good.
It's gonna be
It's always
good.
quite a bit of
Do you
fun.
get any additional bonuses from anyone else helping you with this?
Oh yeah, you can add 2 additional dice because these other 2 are helping.
Oh my god! He does not have a chance right now.
Well, there's always
This
a
feels
chance.
like a messy critical to me.
Yeah, right.
Ravenna was going to do something. You were going to say something?
Am I able to whisper to anyone while under unseen passage?
Yes. During obfuscate, you can still speak at a whisper.
Okay, I'm going to whisper to Lucas because he's the least involved into communicating with them at the moment. At least Or's still up. Who had Or? Okay, cool. So I'll just whisper to him, ask him about when he went missing a year ago.
To me.
No, to
Oh,
Lucas.
to Lucas. Okay.
There's this almost microscopic nod of understanding before, they continue to circle them and then stand by Matthew. Leans into Matthew's ear and does the same thing. It's kind of like Chinese whispers, but like make it vampire.
And I'll be like,
What all has changed?
Okay, so that was 5 successes.
Yeah.
And what was it that you're whispering to me? That
Ask him why he went missing about a year ago.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so 5 successes with that, and I'll wait for a response from him first before asking
he
him.
sort of is bedazzled. Your presence washes over him. It almost puts a smile on his face, the way that you sort of calm him in this moment. And before he even registers that he's nodding, being like, yeah, I mean, we have to find out who did this, right? And Julian knows everything that happens around here. Surely Julian will know something. Yes. Okay. I don't know where he is. I mean, I guess I can find him.
That's okay, just we're not in any rush. Just take a breather, have a think, and you got one of those faces. One of them faces. You're really distinctive. I've seen you somewhere before. Did you go missing about a year ago?
If he could look away from you, he would. But with awe, you demand his presence, and he is persuaded through it. He sort of tries to shake his head and says, "That's when I became this."
Did you know who your sire was? Did that just kind of happen? What was the situation with that?
I just still figuring out the sire stuff. I got jumped in an alley. I woke up in a room. I got someone. And then I was tossed out into the woods.
Hmm.
And then that's when Julian came.
Yes.
It's all
both-
starting to piece together.
We're both outcasts. He understands me.
Gotcha. And you never asked Julian about who was the one who brought you into the night, per se?
I ask him almost every night if I can find that fucker and kill him.
Perhaps we can help each other then.
Do you know?
I could. Working together is better than working alone. And my skill set is highly unique, let's say. Do you know of my family? Have you heard of them before?
Like us?
Allow me to introduce myself. My real name is Lukas Rosselini. Part of the Giovanni family. Have you heard of them?
That sounds like a name from a film.
Wouldn't be wrong. It's quite a prolific family name. I need to word this delicately. I'm sure even as young as you are, you understand the need to be careful. But yes, some of those within the family are kind of like what we are. But our unique talents, let's say, allow us to commune with those that have passed. And then he won't say anything, but he will allow Lars's imagination to fill in the blanks as he slowly turns his head to look over his shoulder back at Rhiannon's tent.
That's kind of messed up, man.
Did you think I asked for this?
I guess not. Did we get a choice? Did you?
Very few.
Oh, fuck.
My family.
Mysterious ways.
My family. I can't tell you everything about them, but what I can and am willing to share is that when any of us take a bite to eat, let's say, it's an enjoyable experience. Not for me.
Is
It's the opposite.
that the same for all of you?
I mean, if it is, it'd be news to me.
This is a lot to take in.
We have so much that we can teach you. We should be friends. Matthew is a fantastic person to talk to. He's better at the talky thing. I have moments, but he's...
Don't sell yourself short, Lucas. You have moments, but those moments are absolute brilliance. You mean you've been cooped up in the woods for safety for so long, and sure, there is some merit in that, but you learn more about what's going on by talking, and you get protection by who's talking. You can't run away forever. But that's things to talk about in the future.
He does have time. We all have nothing but time.
Where can I find you? Or because Julian is only found when he wants to be found. And if you want to talk to him, I'm sure he'll want to talk to you.
Got one of them phones, kid?
Julian broke mine.
Yeah.
Do you know how to travel on public transportation and such still? Or...
Yeah, I did all the time as a student. Just can't really show my face around town,
That's
you know?
right, that's right. I mean, Matthew,
Yeah, I will give him the location that Kira is staying. And I say, yeah, there's a lovely lady who's there. Just say you want to talk to Matthew, and she'll get word to me.
Okay.
And I'll find you.
I'll let Julian know. And I might come by sometime if that's okay. I got a lot of questions.
Yeah. And I'm all ears. You know, if you need to confess anything, if you need to know more things, I am your guide through
Okay.
whatever you need.
careful.
All right. I'm gonna go break something, if that's okay.
Do what you need to, child.
Okay.
Break it far away from those cops, would you, please?
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend going back there.
No, I don't want to see her. Thanks. Thank you.
See you around, kid.
He shoves his hands into his pockets and wanders off, kicking some stones, just into the woods as he goes.
Matthew's just gonna follow her with his eye and just kind of work his jaw, thinking of like, these are a ripe fruit there, ready for the picking.
I know what you're thinking, Matthew.
And I just say, I love being a shepherd for lost lambs. And that is a very, very lost lamb.
I think I see something on you, Matthew. Hold still. Oh, no, sorry. The scale is part of you.
Does knives appear for everyone now?
Oh.
Not yet. Maybe more further away.
Well,
they know she's there.
Sneaky.
Can I make an sense the unseen? Just a flex.
Okay.
I whispered in your ear, but you're gonna flex.
Can I get wits or specs versus wits obfuscate between you two? Just for laughs.
I'll go up to Kage and I'll just say, well, I'm trusting my little chap with a friend there was a lot more illuminating than yours was. Sometimes, you know, it's not all about the swords.
Indeed, but when my skills are required, it sure does come in handy.
Oh yeah, you did well bringing that lamb here.
How many successes? Very stealthy. Maybe there's a bit of a wisp of something, but then it's gone. Then it's somewhere else.
With the sense the unseen, though, do I see any lingering spirits or any other shenanigans?
No. With Sense the Unseen, no spirits around the area, which is very strange. Considering someone died recently, you would expect, in such strange circumstances, you would expect there to at least be one spirit. Do you have Oblivion Sight?
I do not.
Okay.
I do have something else, though, which is kind of like my version.
Which is Sense
The Binding Fetter.
Okay.
Which is like Oblivion Sight, but for spirits.
Yeah, I believe it allows you to sense fetters,
Yeah.
not actual spirits themselves.
Yeah.
So now that you're looking for particular spirits, you can make another wits or specs roll. Now that you're particularly looking for this thing, not looking for knives,
it was
because
kinda
knives
like
is
an
gone.
idle thing, and then kind of picking up on there being no spirits. It's kind of like a double take.
I will see. I'll turn to Lucas to talk to him, and then I'll see his double takes, and I'll just say, "Is everything all good there?"
Damn it. Two successes.
Yeah, that's fine. Now that you're particularly looking for this thing, the Hallstatt has these particular grave sites where there are hundreds of skulls of family lineages nearby. And they decorate these things, these carvings, in these particular places. The Bine House, or the Charnel House, where they're all kept, holds so many, so very many, that spirits are always around in Hallstatt. At least they always have been as long as you've been here, all over the place. But when you go to observe now, it is barren. There is nothing here. It is empty. As empty, even emptier than the fleshlands here. There are 4 police, and there are no ghosts anywhere to be seen, which near so much death. And also, you know that there are cairns of Celtic warriors and all these things all over Austria. There is nothing in this area, and that is deeply, deeply disturbing, because this should not happen.
That's not right. There's been a murder, or rather someone died, and there's nothing. I mean, not everyone turns into a wraith. Not all of them powerful enough to manifest in the Skinlands. But there are the bones of ancient dead. I've worked with spirits before, wraiths, if you want to be more pedantic. There's nothing. They're all gone. It's silent.
Did they used to be here? On other times you've checked?
They used to be everywhere. Everywhere. I would have pleasant conversation sometimes. But they're gone. Something is deeply, deeply wrong. It looks like I'm going to need to go to church after all. Speak to someone.
Don't get Matthew too excited.
Lucas, do you have your vehicle here?
I do.
All right. Well, I guess we got some leads to follow, and you've got to go to church. Where's Knives?
I'm here.
Oh,
You hear a
jeez.
whisper,
It
and
is.
yeah.
But
You
it's
sure?
an idea.
Are you sure? Oh, right. Okay, you sure know how to make an entrance kit.
We're all back to front, but that's okay. We'll just continue as if nothing happened.
Else. Did he seem weird to you?
Oh, he seemed like he needed a lot of guidance.
Seemed young and malleable.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Kage.
Also, did anyone think to ask him where he's seen her last?
He said he's seen her at least 2 months ago, if he was telling the
But
truth.
where?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have another discussion with him and I'll broach the topic then. It was a
So
lot.
imagine going missing a year ago and then turning up at the exact time as you went missing.
Not turning up, what do you mean?
Well, he went missing a year ago, and it's been a year, and she is dead.
Oh, you're saying it might be a little bit of a coinky dink. Okay, alright.
You're implying whatever affected him might also have something to do with her.
We're
Yeah.
looking for possibilities, right?
I
No?
don't know. I mean, I can work my magic, get him to spill whatever he needs to spill, but something tells me he's been in hiding in these woods for so long. Heard, his good friend might be wanted to come and have a look.
Unless that's what he wants us to think. but-
Unless that's what he wants us to think, but I don't think he's not exactly the most
He seems a bit green.
Yeah.
Greener than you.
I'll take that as I guess a compliment. Or are you talking to knives over here?
I don't know. It is.
Well,
Can we get a move on?
yeah, I think we should. We should probably decide what we're gonna do. So we got a few things. We found out that 2 burly men came to the site before us. I think it was the night before. They had badges, suits, real men in black stuff. They're at a hospital. So we can look into that. Officer Lucy talked to the person who found the body of Rhiannon. And the person who found was a tourist, which, set my radars going off a little bit. A tourist
Out
just so
here.
happens. Well, I mean, this is a trail after all, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a tourist, though. So it could
Tour-
be anybody.
Tourist
Well,
sounds convenient.
I think we're all tourists here, right? I don't know if you can tell from my accent, I'm not exactly from here, so. But I still think it's an avenue worth pursuing. We got so Lucy was her name. That would be at the police station. So we got that. Also, Lukas has got his church he wants to go to. I don't know if he wants to do that now or wants to do that at some point on the line. So really, I'm putting it to the group here of where are we thinking? What are we leaning more towards? Or do we want to split up,
It's split in two. 2 people take the church, or 2 people take the police station, the hospital.
Yeah, I think if we're going to go to the police station, we probably need... Well, actually, all locations we really need Lukas, because... I mean, he's got the actual creds. At this point, I'm assuming we've got to the vehicle, or we've got somewhere with... Yeah. Am I able to do a... How long would it take me to forge a document?
Depends on how specific you want to be. What is your intention?
I'm thinking just somebody who's come in from out, just sort of papers to say, hey, I'm investigating this. And just to sort of show so that we don't need Lukas at every single location.
It depends how thorough you want to be with this. Knowing that there are these strange other men in town, police station might be a bit more on edge with whatever's happening. Yeah, it depends how thorough you want to be.
I think Matthew would probably just do something that would pass just by a look, because he probably believes that he can bullshit his way through, like, that will kind of be the first check, and then he can bullshit the rest.
Yeah, you can get it done by the next night if it's that quick and easy. If you're relying more on your words.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. I will get a start on that while we're in the vehicle. So do you want me to roll something for that, or
how you have a specialty in this
forging documents?
Forging documents, indeed you do. Let's get resolve craft this night, and then the next night you can make the same roll as you're spending lots of time doing this.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to bother doing a blood surge for this. So that's two hungry. So roll the dice.
2, yeah. You're quite confident in your abilities. I imagine you have like a notepad or something that you write down details of certain things on. You start writing down all these ideas about how you're going to get into this, how this would work, your ideas on the police, and start working on it. So 2, and the next night you'll make another check, and they'll all add together to see how good this mask sort of is.
Cool. That's fine.
Where would our coterie, well, coterie is a Camarilla word, our group, I suppose, like to go? You're all currently in the car. It is still early in the night. It's only about 10 p.m. The thing about Hallstatt is that it's a very short drive anywhere in this place. If you want to get to Obertraum, it's only about a 7 to 10 minute drive. You want to get to Bad Alsea, it's maybe 17, 15 minutes. Everything's very small, very concise, and easy to get to.
I'm hungry, which is problematic.
Just a touch.
Just a little. So I should probably get something to keep the nerves calm.
How about we kill 2 birds, 1 stone? Hospital. They got things you can eat there. Then we can see what's going on with old big suit men in black.
Yes. I like that. And then maybe after we can go to church, I need to talk to the Father.
I look forward to it.
Okay.
Don't you, Kage?
Knives checks her bag because she normally brings a spare bag. Would she still have one on
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
You also have your own duffel bag in Lucas's car that he provides everyone.
Glad I didn't have to spew into a bag this time.
Does that also have a bag of blood in it?
It does not.
If you would like to feed on one of your bags of blood, Alexa would have also prepared you for the trip, so you would have at least 2 in this bag to take with you, at the very least. Would you like to feed Knives?
Yeah, I'll drink them both.
Yeah, sure. In Lucas's car, you sort of... I imagine you don't want to get anything on the car, so you sort of either get a straw and stab it through, or just open it up and do your best to slap it all down.
Oh no, I have a special straw special for it. And it's got a little rubber and...
It's like a ritual.
Yeah, and I just hide in the corner.
Do I smell? Do I smell the blood?
Does anyone have hunger 4 at this moment?
Not yet.
Me.
Okay, that's fine. None of you make hunger frenzy checks at the smell of blood in the car. The only time you sort of like blood, it makes sense. We're just at a murder scene, and then you probably hear like the sounds in the back.
I look in the rearview mirror and I see the Lovecraftian entity, and then someone with a crazy straw.
Yeah.
I probably have like an air freshener, so like when they're done, I just like give it to them.
Knives, like 2 hunger as you drink both of these bags. And after only about 15 minutes, you arrive at Bad Alcy. Lucas, you know exactly where to go, where to park. You've got your own parking spot in this hospital as well, which is
I've
always
got my
open
own
for
name.
you. Mm-hmm. Your own mask for this place. And you park it there. The hospital is mainly closed at this time. Obviously, it has the emergency section. All the nurses and doctors are still there doing their jobs. So you will have access to a lot of this place. It won't be too strange to bring people in with you. Just keep Kage away from it, particular equipment that's keeping people alive. And yes, how would you like to approach this?
So I usually have a plan for something like this in case there was the need to bring people in. Within the duffel bags, I wouldn't say scrubs, but there is more, or rather less conspicuous clothing. Clothing that's just so dull that people just kind of like glaze over you. Or at least that's its intended purpose. There is also a water bottle, which I give to Knives, and like a breath mint or something. And then when they give it to Knives, they like very deadpan. They're just like, "No, I don't think your breath smells. No, I don't think it's problematic. But if people smell blood on you, then it's going to be awkward." You can spit that out somewhere. I don't care. They, yeah, stay close to me. Kage, stay extra close to me. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. Just exist in close proximity to me, and no one will ask questions.
I'm going to need composure etiquette from everybody.
I was about to say, do you want me to stay in the car and watch out for anybody being weird outside the hospital, though?
That would be nice. But I think we should all be on the same page. I think we should all be there to witness what happens, just in case. Though I appreciate the stratagem.
It'd be very hard to yell kumquat when we're in the middle of a building and you're out there and you probably wouldn't hear us, so, you know.
So do I have to wear these dull clothes? They kind of clash with my black.
You should wear more color, it suits you.
Does that answer your question?
Knives. Wits awareness, please. It's the most observant.
I got 3, but 2 are crits again, so
5. Incredible. With your history, Kage, putting on other uniforms to pretend to be someone else.
Of course.
You've done this many times before. Even though you are against it now because you are not really, it's not your thing anymore. You just go, all right. And then instantly you look just as much as a doctor or a nurse as Lukas does. It's quite impressive, actually, in the way that you do it.
Am I needing to make this roll or just them?
Just them.
3.
3? Yeah.
What was the etiquette roll?
It was composure etiquette to keep yourself calm and under control while making your way through the hospital.
Okay, for the awareness, I got a 3, but I'm going to willpower reroll.
Sure.
Would we give each other help since it's like a group effort?
Not in this case. Not in this case. As it's sort of individual, your composure. All of you, like 3 of you can be super calm and 1 of you can be freaking out. How many successes, Knives?
For the awareness, I got 4.
Incredible. You, being the most observant out of this group and always on edge, always looking around, there is a strange movement from behind the group, as you always are doing, spinning and making sure you're checking every angle and so that no one's sneaking up on you. There is this slither, I would say, of something behind a car nearby, and it moves behind it. And you can see something. It's like someone's lying down flat, and their eyes are looking at you. You can look at it, hiding in the shadow of this car in the snow.
I like do the whole put my head between my legs and look back at them down below.
You want to go up to them?
Yeah, I'll just make it obvious that they were seen.
Sure. As you slowly approach, the thing, this person, whatever it might be, reacts scared. It sort of jumps up, and then you don't see its body from this side of the car anymore. It's like it jumps up, but when you look at the window, there's nothing that passes by.
I'm sense the unseen.
Mm-hmm. You observe around. Make a wits or specs roll. Do you circle the car, Knives? Or observe it in any other way?
Yeah, why not?
As you make your way around and witness exactly what it is that's spying on this group, perhaps it might have been best not to see it. This hand with an eyeball in the middle of it, with a long proboscis like a mosquito that looks at you, pinned to the side of the car, holding itself there, with another hand on the edge of the arm. It's like a long arm with a hand, and then it's got a hand on the other end. One side has the proboscis, and one side has the eyeball. The eyeball looks straight at you. It sort of freezes like an animal.
Oh my giddy up. What the... Ahem.
3. Just going to roll my dice for no particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
Ties go to the player. You can see that there is someone obfuscated just off to the side, observing. A young blonde woman who's wearing this hoodie that's covered in all these different symbols, these very geometrical symbols, and she is sort of watching, observing, and sort of hiding, wide-eyed. You would recognize her as Fionnuala, the Malkavian.
I'm going to walk up to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, before I do though, I will say that we are being watched. Their name is Fionnuala, and I will make my way over to them.
While you make your way over, Knives, how do you respond to this creature?
I instantly Cloak of Shadows.
It's really interesting. As soon as you vanish, the eyeball sort of looks around. Clearly it can't see you when you vanish. And then it flops back down to the ground and flops its arm over so that its eyeball can observe the car. Perhaps not the car. Maybe a bit further. Maybe the hospital itself. You're not quite sure. Clearly it can't see you now.
Yeah, Matthew, like, I guess we're doing something else now. Should we?
Improvise.
And I go there and I
Follow.
I follow.
Follow Lucas's lead. Night. I really hate it when she does that.
The Knives is standing watching this thing. The three of you sort of make your way over. Fionnuala is sort of standing there, her hands together. She's sort of watching across the car park area, away from all of you. And she is obfuscated unless any of you have Auspex, you won't be able to see her.
Does anyone else have aspects?
No.
I don't believe so.
You are our eyes.
It's my imaginary friends. Okay. It is a pleasure to meet with you.
As soon as Lucas speaks out into the nothingness, you see Fionnuala just, her eyes sort of look slightly towards you, but don't look at you, sort of your area. And she unobfuscates and appears before all three of you. Her hands are together, but they're sort of holding something inside of her jacket that sort of slides slightly, and she's holding it in as best she can, making her way through. "Hello," she says without looking at any of you.
Can I help you?
No.
No?
Just admiring the scenery.
It is a nice night, isn't it?
Is that the eyeball?
What was that? Nice.
Is that the eyeball?
That's
No, this is across
Fiona,
the car park. You're on different sides.
Oh, okay, so I
This
don't
point.
really see her.
I might even say to Matthew, like, I'll go see what Knives is doing.
Yeah,
No.
good luck finding her.
I'll just kind of go in that general direction. Like, I seen her over by the car a while ago.
You can also make a wits awareness to try and find this thing. It's pretty subtle in the way that it works, but make a check.
I'm kind of looking for Knives.
You might find something else.
With them.
So yeah, you often just stand outside a hospital and hold you. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Are you all right? She's sort of looking at your like shins or like your shoes rather than looking at you directly.
Right. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Just making sure you're all fine. So you're just here to admire the scenery, and that's what.
It's been a particularly icy evening.
She doesn't say anything in response. She simply almost drops something out of her jacket and slides it back up.
What are you hiding?
She again doesn't say anything, but seems to be sliding around underneath her jumper, and she can't quite grab onto it properly.
I'm not upset, nor am I mad. Just curious. I'm about to head into my place of work, so if you needed anything, you need just let me know.
She looks at Mr. Deacon for the first time in the eyes. She's never looked at you this way before, or anyone, really. And she reaches out a single hand. As she does so, the thing almost slips out. She grabs it quickly, but holds out her hand.
Look down. Look at her hand. And...
It's completely empty. She's gesturing to have yours.
I put my hand out and I look over. All right, okay, and give her my hand.
She is going to share the senses with you. As she does so, there's this whoosh of emotion that torrents through, almost as if you were a surfer being collapsed down into a wave. As it rushes through, it is sadness, melancholy, panic, surprise, anger, furiousness, then freedom, surprise, freedom, like you're a bird with wings. And then all of a sudden, she looks away from all of you. And as she's holding on to your hand, you look over. And you see her. Rhiannon Zeitman, standing there in a white dress in the car park, watching you. She gives a big smile. She holds out both of her hands in kind of like an embrace.
So this is Rhiannon that's holding out.
Mm.
Okay. Am I still holding hands with?
As long as you'd like to. As soon as you see her, it's up to you if you want to like let go or anything.
I will probably let go as soon as I see Rhiannon.
The image of Rhiannon vanishes as soon as you let go of Fionnuala, who sort of almost drops the thing again and brings both of her hands and sort of turns her entire body over so that she can not let this thing out of her jumper. Or hoodie, I should say.
I just sort of stand there with my mouth agape, just looking back and forward. Just, I a lot of emotions going on there. A lot of feelings. A lot of things conflicting.
It's not your
I understand.
eyes, Mr. Deacon. It's your ears. You just have to listen. You can't see it, you just have to listen.
Okay, just have to listen. Yeah. Thank you for that.
She does not speak another word. She simply turns away, makes her way up to a car and stands on its bonnet, jumps up and down on it a little bit, sort of testing the suspension, and then she lies down on the front of the bonnet and sort of curls up onto it, shivering, even though she doesn't feel the cold. How many successes on the wit's awareness, Kage?
While he does that, I also want to try and cat's grace jump and grab the eye.
Yeah. For sure. Let's make a dexterity brawl. She's trying to quickly snatch it.
I got 3 with 2 10s.
So you actually get 5 because that's a critical. It adds 2 more successes on top of that. 5 successes. This thing, considering you were invisible and you surprise it as well, this sort of 2-ended arm with a proboscis and an eyeball, you just simply appear out of nowhere. Its eye quickly sees you, but you grab the arm and hold it up in front of you, probably from a distance, I imagine, as it sort of its arms like squirm and try to grab, but it can't like reach the fingers below, so it can't get you.
Instantly put it in under my whatever clothes that I just got given, or into the side of my jacket. To,
Or
like,
you
so
can
we can't
feel
see
the
anything.
you can feel the hands like grabbing onto you and trying to move, but you have it very firmly gripped.
As long as the eye can't see anything.
The eye can't see, but it's very unnerving feeling having those hands grabbing and moving and trying to shift itself. The proboscis is not... It is pointing downwards, not towards anything.
And I run over to the other 2.
Yeah, Kage sort of meets you in the middle.
Like she just suddenly appeared and she's like moving around.
Very similar to Fionnuala, actually.
Oh, did you find a secret as well?
Say, are you all right?
Yeah.
I've got this thing. We should give it to Lukas. Anyway, let's go. And I run over to Lukas and then pull it out from under my shirt and give it to him, but hide the eye so it doesn't look at Lukas.
Yeah. You kind of grab the hand in like a handhold so that you can hold the eye like closed. It's bizarre and unnerving, but you keep it covered.
That's fucked
See if it's
up.
got ears.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
I am going to examine this thing.
This is
But
beyond...
I'm also going to think about what it could potentially be supernaturally.
It
Mm.
has an eyeball and it's watching. So
Have.
does it have an ear on it?
It has no ears. It is just an eye. It's so imagine it's like this part of my arm, but both
Yeah.
sides has a hand on it. And one side has a proboscis out the middle of the hand, and one has an eyeball in the middle of the hand. Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
I'll grab the hilt of my sword, like, want me to kill it?
No.
How familiar are any of you with Samitsi? Your characters.
No, I probably wouldn't be. No, probably not.
Something new for all of you to experience. This is alive somehow. It is human body parts alive, but there's no organs. There's just muscle. Sentient. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is otherworldly.
I know that I have a fascination with the woman on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I may not know all the intricate details of how everything works, but one hears things.
You can make a intelligence politics with a specialty in kindred or Samitsi or even Sabat.
Do I roll that as well, just because
If
of
you'd
my
like to.
interest in the property?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you probably heard stories. Anyone who wants to make
Yeah.
the intelligence politics roll, you can. Or actually intelligence occult as well.
Yeah, okay.
You
That's
can
much
replace
better.
it. You can replace it. They'll give you different
I'm not even
information
gonna
though.
bother.
You're just gonna hold the thing.
I'm just trying to hold on for dear life.
It's so very, very strange.
4 successes.
2 with politics. You've heard stories. You know Kindred can do a lot of things. Can Kindred move flesh or change it? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. You've heard stories of this, but you always thought it was not real. Seeing it in person, who knows? Could be real. With 4 successes with the occult, you've heard of the fiends. You've heard their stories of their abilities to manipulate flesh, but in this way, to create something so small and so, it seems inefficient in its design. It's very strange, actually. It's very bizarre.
Being what I am and what I know, could this be something necromantic? A homunculus, for example?
There's a possibility. Homunculus come in all shapes and sizes. Could be a variety of things.
This one of yours or one of your families?
It's definitely not mine.
Right.
So I have to hold it.
Yeah,
for...
nice. While you're still holding the thing, can you make a strength and athletics check to hold it still as it's wriggling? It's actually super unnerving because you're holding it and you can see the bicep muscle actually sort of move the other side so that it gets the opportunity to try and get out and break your grip.
I see it struggling and I focus more with my hand still on my hilt.
Question. So it has one eye.
Yep.
Okay. I'll say, knives. I'm going to try something. Just let me see the eye. And I'm going to use Eyes of the Serpent.
Mm.
And this is where I get to use my filter.
Yes. There we go.
Hey, looking good.
You will stay in place.
Look at the camera though.
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah. As you observe the thing, you command it, you use your blood and you will it to do this thing. It catches your eye, it observes, but it does not obey. It's very strange. Any human unprepared would obey you, but this thing, it looks at you with its shaky eyeball and then looks away, and then looks away again, then looks back at you. Very, very bizarre.
Turn it off.
Did it work?
Hide the eye. Hide it. Hide it. I just want to
Cover
think
it
about
again.
all.
How many successes on the strength athletics?
I want everybody to know I rolled 4 1s and a 10.
Any of those
Oh.
hunger dice for the ones?
Yes.
Okay.
For the 1s? Yes.
All right. That is a bestial failure.
Oh no!
So, with a bestial failure,
But I got to roll a 10.
you still got a 1 success, but since it beats you in this roll, it is considered a failure, so it is a bestial failure.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So, I'll give you a choice here. You can succeed at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
The cost will be you hold it still. You're going to cover the eye, but the way that you do it is you're going to rip that hand off of the creature's body. The beast is going to take over and succeed for you. If you don't succeed at a cost, the thing will get out of the grip.
The beast is just going to take over.
It's very different knives to what you see. As the thing wriggles and knives, you sort of it gets loose, and then all of a sudden you grab it and your fangs bare. All of you see this. You grab the hand and just tear it straight off, even trying to go against you, and slap it to the ground, and this red blood starts to ooze onto the snow below you all.
It's really gross.
Kage, would you mind putting this thing out of its misery permanently?
I slash it.
Dex melee with your specialty.
Especially at 2 or 1?
1.
3, 4. 4.
As I imagine knives, you hold the dangling rest of the arm and just sort of toss it aside because it's slowly like that. And as you do so, Kage, what does this look like? Actually, you describe it to me.
I'm gonna go for a bit of a back and forth, a bit of a 1-2. Cut it into at least 3 pieces.
Yes, into 3 easy pieces. It falls to the ground, and just bits of meat, bits of flesh, fingers, and a bit of muscle. And as the last bit with the eye sort of moves and rides like a dying spider that's been sprayed on the ground, you just
Stab it in the middle.
straight through, and then it curls up into itself and dies.
And I'll like pick it up, and it's on the end of my katana, and I'll offer it to Lukas, like, want it?
Bring it back to my car. I have trash bags for this very reason.
I'll follow Lukas.
I will double wrap it.
Yeah, you gather the thing, you double wrap it, whatever's left of it, into all these different chunks, putting into the bags, and wrap it. And it is here, I think, with the revelation that perhaps there's more going on. There are more fingers in this pie than we might originally have thought. In this car park, this hospital, we're going to end our first session of Hallstatt by Night. Nice work, everybody. Nobody's died yet. That's fantastic. That's always good. I can consider that a win. Great. We'll reintroduce our group again, and this time, advertise yourself. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us what games you're playing. Where can we find you? Starting with Lukas. Same order.
I'm a Satanic Bunny. You can find me here on Twitch at Satanic__bunny. Yes, there are 2 because I'm extra. And on Twitter, you can find me at Satanic Bunny too. I do horror stuff, Vampire the Masquerade dramatic readings, and sometimes I tilt at League because I don't know why.
I'm Chris, the unemployed writer here on Twitch. I stream, apparently, and I'm running 2 games at the moment. One is Anarchs of Chicago, which is tomorrow night, and I'm totally not super nervous because I have nothing planned, but that's tomorrow night, and that will be on Aaron Music Productions. And I am running Sticks and Bones, which will be on Roleplay Nights. Play with a Playe. So yeah, you can catch me there. And also, I think it's Roleplay Nights on Twitter, but Nova's in charge of that. So.
I'm Jonno, Baker's Dozen 5, or I just blanket under the Roleplay Nights with Unemployed here. If you check out Roleplay Nights, most of the time we'll lead. It will guide you to Aaron Music Productions or wherever you need to go to catch vampire games.
Hello! I am Novatorium, the most awkward human of all time. I live my life as unemployed writer's assistant, as you heard, using the Twitter to do the roleplay nights thing. I'll also be playing Bloodlines before the game tomorrow.
I forgot.
We started last week. Jonno, are you going to join me again? I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I'll join you.
So we'll be there an hour before we do that show, and we'll advertise it. There we go.
It's like a pre-show.
That's
A pre-show show.
super cool. And we can catch that on your channel, Nova.
No, on Role Play Nights.
Perfect. I'll be there. Thank you all to our wonderful players and to everybody watching for the first session of this murder mystery that we are learning a few things about and maybe making a few friends and enemies with the way that we go through things. But I'm very excited to continue. You can find us next week, same time, same place. And yeah, I can't wait to continue this chronicle with everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you for everything, Ethan.
Yeah,
Hey, no worries.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jack.
See you all later.